In 2025, at 63 years old, Tom Cruise became the highest paid actor in the world. He earned between $130 million and $150 million for a single film, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. No other actor earned even half of what he made that year. But here's what they don't tell you about that paycheck. Every single dollar came with a price tag, not in Hollywood negotiations or back-end deals, but in broken bones, suffocation risks, and stunts that had never been attempted before in cinema history. This is a story of a dyslexic kid from a broken home who refused to let anyone define his limits. A man who at 62 rode a motorcycle off a cliff after 500 skydives and 13,000 motocross jumps just for one 3-second shot. This is the insane path to $600 million. And it starts with a boy who had nothing. Thomas Cruise Mapother was born in Syracuse, New York in the summer of 1962. He was the only son in a family that would soon fall apart. His father, Thomas Cruise Mapother III, was described by his own son as a bully and a coward, a merchant of chaos who would frequently intimidate and beat Tom and his 4 sisters. The family lived in near poverty. His mother worked 3 jobs just to keep food on the table. And then there was the dyslexia. Diagnosed at age 7, Tom couldn't distinguish his right hand from his left. He was placed in slow classes where bullies found him easy prey. He asked himself if he was normal or an idiot. When he graduated from high school in 1980, he was functionally illiterate. Nobody gave him a solution. He wanted to know why the system had failed him. At 15, he entered a seminary, intending to become a priest. At 18, he left his family home for New York City, determined to break free from everything that had held him back. He changed his name. Thomas Cruise Mapother IV became simply Tom Cruise. A symbolic act of shedding the past, of becoming someone new. He had no money, no connections, no formal training. And he couldn't read scripts properly, but he had something else. He had a rage to prove everyone wrong. His first movie role was in Endless Love in 1981. He appeared for less than a minute. He had auditioned for the lead, lost it, and was given a small role as a consolation prize. Most actors never recovered from that kind of start. Tom Cruise used it as fuel. In 1983, Risky Business changed everything. The film earned him his first Golden Globe nomination. He was no longer just another face in Hollywood, he was a rising star, but it was 1986 that turned him into a phenomenon. Top Gun became the highest grossing film of the year. Cruise played Pete Maverick Mitchell, a cocky, brilliant fighter pilot who lived on the edge. The irony wasn't lost on anyone who knew his story. A dyslexic kid who couldn't read was now playing a man who flew at Mach speeds. A boy who'd been beaten by his father was now a symbol of American heroism. Then came Born on the 4th of July in 1989. Cruise played Ron Kovic, paralyzed Vietnam veteran turned anti-war activist. It earned him his first Academy Award nomination. People told him this role would ruin his career. After Top Gun, why not just make Top Gun 2? His response, I wanted to challenge myself. That sentence, I wanted to challenge myself, would become the thesis statement of his entire life. More nominations followed. Jerry Maguire, Magnolia, he was building something unprecedented, a career that combined massive commercial success with critical respect. By the mid-1990s, Tom Cruise wasn't just a movie star, he was the movie star, and he was about to make a decision that would define the next 3 decades of his life and nearly kill him in the process. In 1996, Cruise launched the Mission Impossible franchise. He played Ethan Hunt, an IMF agent who would do whatever it took to complete the mission. The film grossed $457 million worldwide. But more importantly, it gave Cruise a platform to do something no other actor was doing. He started performing his own stunts, not because he had to, but because he believed audiences deserve to see real danger on screen. His Mission Impossible co-star Simon Pegg put it this way: he does it because he actually cares so much about the cinematic experience for the audience. He will literally risk his life, which he does again and again, and it's kind of more inspiring to watch. With every sequel, the stakes got higher, the stunts got more dangerous, and Cruise got older. Most action stars slow down in their 40s, they use stunt doubles, they take safer roles. Tom Cruise did the opposite. He scaled the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, without a safety net in many shots. He hung off the side of an Airbus A400M as it took off. He filmed an underwater sequence that could have suffocated him. Director Christopher McQuarrie admitted, "This is far and away the most dangerous thing we've ever attempted. Don't be careful, be competent." That became his mantra. For one motorcycle cliff jump in Dead Reckoning, he trained with 500 skydives and 13,000 motocross jumps. He built a motocross track and jumped 80-foot tabletops over and over again. "I have to get so good at this that there's just no way that I miss my marks," he said. Stunt coordinator Wade Eastwood said they were doing 30 jumps a day, getting to the point where he was just a machine. A machine. That's what it took to risk your life for a 3-second shot. That's what it took to become the highest paid actor in the world. In 2022, Tom Cruise did something that no one in Hollywood thought was possible. He made a sequel to a 36-year-old movie, a movie that defined the 1980s, a movie that by all conventional wisdom should have been a nostalgic cash grab that nobody asked for. Instead, Top Gun Maverick became a cultural phenomenon. It grossed $1.5 billion worldwide. It became the 5th highest grossing film of all time domestically. It was Cruise's first billion-dollar hit. He reportedly made over $100 million from the sequel alone. And here's the thing, he didn't just act like a pilot, he learned to fly. Hundreds of hours of flight training, he got certified as a pilot. He was 60 years old and he was flying actual fighter jets for the camera. At an age when most people are planning retirement, Tom Cruise was pushing the limits of what was physically possible in cinema. His films have now grossed over $13 billion worldwide. More than 30 of his movies have earned over $100 million at the global box office. He holds the Guinness World Record for the most consecutive $100 million grossing movies. But here's what the numbers don't show. They don't show the broken ribs, the concussions, the moments when he couldn't breathe underwater and thought just for a second that this might be it. Acting is a way of life for him. It's his passion. That passion came with a price, and Tom Cruise was willing to pay it. In 2025, Tom Cruise's net worth reached an estimated $600 million. But here's what makes his fortune different from almost every other actor in Hollywood. Most stars build wealth through endorsements, investments, and business ventures outside of acting. Tom Cruise built his fortune by doing the opposite. He co-founded Cruise Wagner Productions in 1993, which has earned over $3 billion at the global box office. He negotiates back-end deals that dramatically increase his earnings from blockbuster hits. He reportedly commands $20 to $25 million per film upfront. But he takes home much more than that. For Top Gun Maverick, he made over $100 million. For Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, he earned between $130 million and $150 million. In 2025, Forbes ranked him the second highest paid actor in the world, with $46 million in earnings. But here's the part that most people miss. Cruise doesn't treat his wealth as something to spend. He treats it as something to reinvest. He funds intensive training, advanced production techniques, the machinery needed to support increasingly ambitious films. There's no partway with him on anything in any area of his life. Partway is comfortable, partway is safe, partway is what most people settle for. Partway was never an option for the kid who couldn't read, the kid who was beaten by his father, the kid who was told he'd never amount to anything. Every dollar of that $600 million was earned through absolute commitment, through refusing to have an emotional exit strategy, through risking his life again and again for the audience. In November 2025, after 45 years in the industry and 4 previous Academy Award nominations, Tom Cruise finally received his first Oscar. It was an honorary award for lifetime achievement, but the real achievement wasn't the statue, it wasn't the $600 million, it wasn't the box office records. The real achievement was this: a dyslexic kid from a broken home who couldn't read when he graduated high school became the most bankable star in the history of cinema. He didn't get there by playing it safe. He got there by doing what no one else was willing to do. He rode motorcycles off cliffs, he hung off planes, he climbed the tallest building in the world, he held his breath underwater until he almost drowned. He did it because he believed audiences deserved something real, something that couldn't be faked with CGI, something that would make them feel something. In a world full of shortcuts, Tom Cruise took the long way. The path wasn't easy, it was never supposed to be, but then again, nothing worth having ever comes easy.